This passage of Scripture is often used to justify self-defense, or the taking up of arms, or the taking of life to defend one's family. But is that what this Scripture passage is really about? Let's check the Bible. Let's look at the Bible and see what it has to say. As with all things, we need to start out the passage by reading the whole thing, finding out what the context is. Who's writing it? Who is he writing to? What is the purpose? If we do a little bit of research, we can find out that the Apostle Paul is writing to a church, and he's instructing them about how to take care of people in their church. We can read from verse 1. It says, "Rebuke not an elder, but entreat him as a father, and the younger men as brethren, the elder women as mothers, the younger as sisters, with all purity. Honor widows that are widows indeed. But if any widow have children or nephews, let them first to show piety at home, and to requite their parents, for it is good and acceptable before God. Now she that is a widow indeed and desolate trusteth in God, and continueth in supplications and prayers night and day. But she that liveth in pleasure is dead while she liveth. And these things give in charge, that they may be blameless. But if any provide not for his own, and especially for those of his own house, he hath denied the faith, and is worse than infidel. Let not a widow be taken into the number under 60 years, having been the wife of one man, well reported of good works, if she have brought up children, if she have lodged strangers, if she have washed the saints' feet, if she have relieved the afflicted, if she have diligently followed every good work." So we can see in this passage, the Apostle Paul is writing to a church, to Christians, to believers. He's instructing them mainly in the area of taking care of widows. We can see in the passage before the context, he's talking about elder women. He's talking about widows, a widow indeed. Again, he goes on to talk about widows. And then we get here to verse 8. He's talking about providing for these widows. He says, "If any provide not for his own, especially of those of his own house, he hath denied the faith, and is worse than an infidel." He's talking about Christians, family members. They should be taking care of each other, especially widows in that same household. It's the duty and the responsibility to take care of the widow with the people in their own household. But if their household maybe is unbelievers, or maybe they don't care as unbelievers, then it is up to the church to take care of the widow. That's what this passage is talking about. It's not talking about anything about self-defense or taking up arms or taking of any lives. It's quite strange that this verse would be used out of context to justify that, but it is quite oftentimes. So consider that whenever you hear this passage being talked about, remember always to look at the chapter, look at the context, ask yourself the questions. Can this verse be used to justify that? Is that what it's talking about? I hope that was helpful for you today.